What if I told you that the guy who's been your shoulder to cry on, your late-night texting buddy, and your go-to person for literally everything has been secretly planning your future together this whole time? I'm talking about your male best friend. You know, the one who knows your coffee order by heart, remembers every detail about your bad dates, and somehow always shows up exactly when you need him most. The one who makes you laugh until your stomach hurts, and who you trust with your deepest secrets. Here's the thing that's going to blow your mind. There's a 73% chance he's been head over heels in love with you this entire time, and you've been completely oblivious to it. And honestly, that's not your fault at all. Let me tell you about my friend Sarah. She had this best friend, Jake, who she'd known since college. They did everything together: movie nights, grocery shopping, even went to each other's family gatherings. Sarah always said Jake was like the brother she never had. One random Tuesday night, Sarah was crying over another guy who had ghosted her after 3 dates. Jake showed up at her apartment with her favorite ice cream and a terrible rom-com. As they sat on her couch, she was going on and on about how she'd never find someone who truly understood her. Jake went quiet for a moment, then looked at her and said, "Sarah, what if that person has been sitting right next to you this whole time?" She laughed it off, thinking he was just being sweet. But something in his eyes made her stomach flip. That's when it hit her: every single thing she'd been looking for in a guy, Jake had been giving her all along. Fast forward 6 months, and they're now engaged. Sarah told me later that looking back, the signs were everywhere. She just didn't know what to look for. And that's exactly why I'm here today. Because if you have a male best friend, there's a really good chance you're living in your own love story and don't even realize it. Sign number 1. He remembers everything about you, even the tiny stuff. Okay, let's start with something that might seem obvious, but trust me, it goes way deeper than you think. Your male best friend doesn't just remember your birthday or your favorite color. He remembers that you hate the smell of vanilla candles because they remind you of your grandmother's funeral. He knows you prefer your coffee with oat milk, not regular milk, and he can tell when you're stressed just by the way you text him, "Hey," instead of "Hey." Here's the thing: guys don't naturally remember details like this unless they're emotionally invested. When a man is in love, his brain literally rewires itself to prioritize information about you. It's like you become his favorite subject to study. I had a friend who told me her male best friend remembered that she mentioned liking a specific type of pen she used once at work. 3 months later, he surprised her with a whole pack of them. Just because. She thought it was sweet friendship. Nope, that man was cataloging every single thing that made her happy because he was planning to spend his life making her smile. If your male best friend remembers the random story you told him about your 3rd grade teacher, or knows exactly how you like your eggs cooked, or brings up something you mentioned in passing 3 weeks ago, honey, that's not just friendship. That's a man who's been taking detailed notes on how to love you properly. Sign number 2. He gets weird when you talk about other guys. This one is huge, and it's something most women completely miss because we're taught to think men are just naturally protective friends. When you start talking about a guy you're interested in, does your male best friend suddenly become different? Maybe he gets quiet, starts asking a lot of pointed questions about this new guy, or suddenly finds reasons why this person isn't good enough for you. Here's what's really happening. He's not being a protective friend, he's being a jealous boyfriend who doesn't have the title yet. The dead giveaway is in the specifics. A regular friend might say, "Just be careful." But a guy who's in love with you will say things like, "I don't know, he seems kind of shallow." Or, "Did you notice he was on his phone a lot during your date?" He's actively looking for reasons why this other guy isn't right for you. And here's the kicker: he'll do this even when the guy is actually decent. Because in his mind, no one is good enough for you except him. I know a girl whose male best friend would literally research every guy she went on dates with. She thought he was just being a good friend looking out for her. Girl, that man was running full background checks because he was trying to protect his future wife from making a mistake. If your male best friend seems to have a problem with every single guy you show interest in, it's not because he has impossibly high standards for your happiness. It's because he's already decided he's the one who should be making you happy. Sign number 3. He drops everything for you every single time. Let me ask you something. When you need help, who's the first person you call? And more importantly, who's the person who never, ever says no? If it's your male best friend, and he consistently drops whatever he's doing to help you, that's not normal friendship behavior. That's boyfriend behavior. Think about it. He leaves his date early because you need someone to talk to. He drives across town at 11 p.m. because you heard a weird noise in your apartment. He cancels his plans to help you move, or to be your +1 at your cousin's wedding, or just to sit with you while you wait for medical test results. Here's what's happening. In his mind, you're already his priority. You're not just a friend he helps when it's convenient, you're the most important person in his life, and everything else comes second. I knew a guy who left his own birthday party because his female best friend called crying about a work situation. His other friends thought he was crazy. But he told me later, "Her happiness was more important than my birthday." It always has been. Most people have limits to their availability, even for close friends. But when a man is in love with you, you become his exception to every rule. You're not just on his priority list, you are his priority list. If your male best friend treats you like you're the most important person in his world, it's because you are. And that's not friendship, that's love. Sign number 4. He's different when it's just you two. This is one of those signs that's so subtle, you might not even notice it until someone points it out. But once you see it, you can't unseen it. Pay attention to how your male best friend acts when you're in a group versus when it's just the two of you. Is he more relaxed? More attentive? Does he look at you differently? Touch you more casually? Make more jokes? Share deeper thoughts? When a man is in love with you, being alone with you feels like coming home. The group dynamic requires him to share your attention, but when it's just you two, he can be his authentic self, the self that's completely devoted to you. I had a friend who noticed that her male best friend was always the life of the party in groups, but when they hung out alone, he became this thoughtful, gentle person who asked about her dreams and really listened to her answers. She thought he was just more comfortable being vulnerable with her. Actually, he was showing her who he really was because he wanted her to fall in love with the real him. Another telltale sign, he creates opportunities to be alone with you. He suggests coffee dates instead of group hangouts. He offers to drive you places. He finds reasons to stay after everyone else leaves. He's not doing this because he's antisocial, he's doing it because he treasures every moment he gets to have you to himself. If your male best friend seems like his best, most authentic self only shows up when it's just you two, it's because he's letting you see the version of himself that he's been saving for the woman he loves. Sign number 5. He talks about the future, and you're always in it. Listen carefully to how your male best friend talks about his future. Not just next weekend, but months and years from now. Are you in those plans? I'm not talking about vague, "We should totally travel together someday" comments. I'm talking about specific integration of you into his life vision. He mentions the apartment he wants to get and casually includes details about how you'd love the kitchen. He talks about his career goals and mentions how great it would be because then he could help you with your student loans. He makes plans that assume you'll be in his life permanently. He talks about holidays like you'll obviously be spending them together. He mentions his family events and assumes you'll be there. Here's the thing that's crucial to understand. Men don't do this casually. When a man includes you in his future plans, it means he's already decided you're not going anywhere. In his mind, you're not his friend who might drift away, you're his person, permanently. I know a girl whose male best friend kept talking about this house he wanted to buy, and he'd always mention how the guest room would be perfect for when she stayed over, and how the backyard was big enough for the dog she wanted to get. She thought he was just being a supportive friend. Girl, that man was designing their life together, and just waiting for her to realize she wanted to live it with him. If your male best friend consistently speaks about his future as if you're an integral part of it, it's because he's not planning a future without you. He's planning a future with you, and he's hoping you'll eventually see that too. Sign number 6. He goes out of his way to take care of you. This goes beyond just being helpful. I'm talking about the way he anticipates your needs before you even know you have them. He shows up with soup when you mention you're feeling under the weather. He fills up your gas tank when he borrows your car. He makes sure you get home safe after every night out, even if it means he has to leave early or go out of his way. But here's where it gets really telling. He takes care of the little things that boyfriends typically do. He makes sure your phone is charged. He keeps hair ties in his car for you. He stocks his fridge with your favorite snacks. He knows your schedule better than you do and reminds you about important things. This is nurturing behavior, and it comes from a place of love, not friendship. He's practicing being your partner. I had a friend whose male best friend noticed she was always stressed about her car making weird noises. Without being asked, he took it to his mechanic, got it fixed, and refused to let her pay him back. She thought he was just being nice. Actually, he was showing her what it would feel like to have someone who took care of her problems so she didn't have to worry about them. He was auditing for the role of life partner. When a man goes out of his way to take care of you consistently, it's because taking care of you makes him happy. And that's not friendship, that's love expressing itself through action. Sign number 7. He remembers and celebrates your wins like they're his own. Pay attention to how your male best friend reacts when good things happen to you. Not just, congratulations, I mean genuine, over-the-top excitement that matches or exceeds your own. You get a promotion? He's more excited than your parents. You finish a project you've been working on? He wants to celebrate immediately. You have a small victory, like finally mastering that yoga pose or finishing a book? He acts like you just won an Olympic medal. Here's what's happening. Your happiness is his happiness. Your wins feel like his wins because he's emotionally invested in your success in a way that goes beyond friendship. But here's the really telling part. He remembers these wins and brings them up later. He brags about you to other people. He's genuinely proud of you in a way that feels almost parental? But not quite parental. It's more like how a partner would feel. I knew a guy who threw his female best friend a surprise party when she got into graduate school. Not just a casual celebration, he invited all their mutual friends, made a whole speech about how proud he was of her, and gave her a gift that clearly took thought and planning. Everyone at the party was like, "When are you two getting together?" But she was oblivious. He was celebrating her like she was already his girlfriend because in his heart, she was. If your male best friend's excitement about your achievements feels bigger than regular friendship, it's because you're not just his friend whose success he enjoys, you're the woman he loves, and your happiness is the most important thing in his world. Sign number 8. He defends you like his life depends on it. We all have friends who will stick up for us, but when your male best friend defends you, there's an intensity to it that goes beyond normal friendship loyalty. Someone makes a casual comment about you. He shuts it down immediately and firmly. Someone questions your decisions? He becomes your personal advocate, explaining your reasoning like he's your lawyer. Someone hurts your feelings? He takes it personally like they've hurt him directly. This isn't just having your back. This is protection mode, and it comes from a deep emotional investment in your well-being and reputation. But here's the key difference. He defends you even when you're not around. He protects your reputation in conversations you'll never know about. He corrects misconceptions about you. He makes sure people understand your worth. I had a friend who found out her male best friend had gotten into an actual argument with someone who said she was too picky about dating. He spent 20 minutes explaining why she had every right to have standards and why anyone would be lucky to date her. She never asked him to do that. She didn't even know it happened until someone else told her. That's not friendship behavior, that's a man protecting the woman he loves, even when there's no audience to impress. When your male best friend defends you with the intensity of someone who has a personal stake in your happiness and reputation, it's because he does. You're not just his friend, you're his person, and protecting you is protecting his own heart. Sign number 9. He knows exactly how to comfort you. Every woman has different comfort needs. Some want to talk it out, some want to be distracted, some want physical comfort, some want to be left alone until they're ready. Your male best friend doesn't just know what you need, he's become an expert at providing it. And I mean expert level. He knows whether you need ice cream or a hot bath. He knows if you want to vent, or if you want him to help you solve the problem. He knows when you need a hug and when you need space. He knows exactly what to say and when to say nothing at all. This isn't accidental. This is the result of years of paying attention to you, studying your emotional patterns, and caring enough to become fluent in your specific needs. But here's what makes it even more significant. He's emotionally available for this. He doesn't get uncomfortable when you cry. He doesn't try to rush you through your feelings. He doesn't make your problems about him. I know a girl whose male best friend created what he called her sad day protocol. He knew she needed exactly 30 minutes to cry it out, then she wanted her favorite takeout, then she wanted to watch something funny, then she wanted to talk about anything except what was bothering her. He had literally studied her emotional needs like it was his job. Because in his mind, it was his job. Taking care of your emotional well-being felt like his responsibility because he loved you. When a man becomes an expert in your comfort needs, it's because comforting you has become one of his most important skills. And that's not friendship, that's love preparing to be partnership. Sign number 10. He looks at you like you're magic. This last sign is the most telling, but it's also the one that requires you to really pay attention because it's all in his eyes. Your male best friend looks at you differently than he looks at anyone else. There's a softness there, an admiration, a kind of wonder that goes beyond friendship. He watches you when you're not looking. When you're telling a story to a group, his eyes are on you the whole time, and he's smiling like he's watching his favorite movie. When you laugh, he looks at you like you've just done something miraculous. But here's the thing that really gives it away. He looks at you like he's memorizing you. Like he's trying to capture every moment, every expression, every detail. This is the look of a man who's already decided you're the most beautiful woman in the world, and he can't quite believe he gets to be in your life at all. I had a friend who noticed that in every group photo, her male best friend was looking at her instead of the camera. At first she thought it was coincidence, but then she realized it was in every photo. He was literally capturing moments of looking at her. When she asked him about it, he said, "I'd rather have a picture of my reaction to being with you than just a regular photo." That's when she finally understood. If your male best friend looks at you like you're the most fascinating person he's ever met, like you're magic, like he's still trying to figure out how he got so lucky to know you, honey, that's not friendship. That's a man who's been in love with you for probably longer than you can imagine. Here's what I want you to understand. If you recognize your male best friend in most of these signs, you're not dealing with unrequited love, you're dealing with patient love. He's not desperately pining away in secret. He's not suffering in silence. He's loving you the way he knows how, showing you every day what it would feel like to be with someone who truly adores you, and he's waiting for you to realize that what you've been looking for has been right there all along. The beautiful thing about falling in love with your best friend is that you're not starting from scratch. You already know he's trustworthy. You already know he makes you laugh. You already know he shows up for you. You already know he accepts you exactly as you are. You're not taking a risk on a stranger, you're recognizing love that's already been proven. If you're sitting here thinking, "Oh my God, this is definitely my best friend," don't panic and don't overthink it. The next time you're together, pay attention to how you feel. Not how you think you should feel, but how you actually feel. Do you feel safe? Cherished? Happy? Does being with him feel like home? Sometimes the best love stories start with the realization that you've been living one all along. If this video helped you see your friendship in a new light, I want to hear about it. Drop a comment and tell me which signs resonated with you most. And if you know someone who needs to watch this, maybe a friend who's been oblivious to her own love story, share it with her. Trust me, she'll thank you later. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights into love, relationships, and all the beautiful ways we connect with each other. Because understanding love in all its forms is the most important skill we can develop.